Seen down a hurricane for the first time, Fox 12 caught up with a former Portlander who moved to Tampa within the last year.
Tonight, she shares her experience of Hurricane Ian. Fox 12's Adrian Thomas is live for us in studio tonight with her story. Adrian.
Yeah, that's right. Most lifelong Oregonians never even fathom having to deal with a hurricane. But we spoke to Stephanie Wicks, who moved to Tampa just within the last year with her fiance. And she says living through her first hurricane was unlike anything she's experienced. Now, thankfully, she doesn't live in the hardest hit area of Florida, but says braving Hurricane Ian is something she'll never forget. Hurricane Ian has left a path of destruction in southwest Florida. Although the storm may be on the other side of the country, the impact is felt here in Oregon. The state fire marshal's office has sent over a dozen firefighters from across Oregon to help Florida first responders on the ground. Stephanie Wicks, a native Portlander, just moved to Tampa within the last year. She said she feared the worst as Ian approached.
We got all our supplies and we were ready for whatever. And, where our apartment was in an evacuation level A.
Which means leave now. Stephanie, however, works as a nurse and had to stay in Tampa, but says her fiance evacuated inland to Orlando. Ian battered areas south of Tampa, like Fort Myers, especially hard. But Stephanie says conditions were still unsettling where she was.
Before that hurricane made landfall, it was kind of windy, little rainy, which I was like, okay, that's fine. And then once it hit, it was kind of late at night, Wednesday night. It was pretty windy, like bad winds.
She also says she and her fiance recently purchased a townhome in the Tampa area, something they worked to protect by boarding up windows at the last minute.
I haven't been over there to see it yet, but we boarded up the windows there because we're not on a third level of an apartment building.
She says being from the Pacific Northwest, the idea of living through a hurricane was unthinkable. Still, Stephanie says it was in the back of her mind when she moved.
I knew it was a possibility that it would happen, and I didn't like it, but I was like, I'll kind of cross that bridge when I get to it, which we did.
Now, Stephanie tells us she's grateful the Tampa area was not hit as hard as cities south of her, like Fort Myers. The 13 Oregon firefighters on the ground now in Florida have been assigned to help people in Hardee County, Florida. That's an area the Oregon State Fire Marshal's office says suffered life-threatening flooding and damage to hospital infrastructure. Live in studio, Adrian Thomas, Fox 12 Oregon.